Hello, welcome to VCV Rack Soundmaschines. This is a new series, and we are talking about VCV Rack, and we are talking about the huge part of it is Touch OSC and the integration of them both. And of course, there's a concept behind this series. It's basically not a tutorial. It's more about building sound machines. And it came from the idea that I wanted to restrict myself in VCV Rack because I have, I guess right now, 1,500 modules in VCV Rack, and it's totally overwhelming. It's super that you have the possibilities, but sometimes I like it to be restricted. But in this series, I want to take both parts. Basically, I'm doing this to build sound machines who are at the end for free to download, who have a certain concept of sound creation. And the second part is also very important, to build an interface in Touch OSC. Because right now I don't have a MIDI controller with me, and I sold all of them because I never used them. And so I decided to dig into Touch OSC. I'm still a noob when it comes to Touch OSC, but I learned my way around and can do basic stuff. There are a few hiccups here and there. Maybe I point them out in this video and maybe someone can help me with it. So yeah, the basic concept is that you building a sound machine with all the possibilities of VCV Rack, like all the modules who are inside you can use, but I want to reach a point where I reach my goal and finish the sound machine, and that's it. No touching anymore, only playing the sound machine. And I know it's a small restriction because when we're building it, we use all the modules, but for me it helped it's a good point to say once in your work, like, this is finished. It's maybe not perfect, but it's finished, and that it's over. Because when you are in VCV Rack, you can do endless building, and oh yeah, this module I need in the patch, and this and this, and it will never end. So I hope I find the end in this series. It will be several parts. It's not possible to do it in one part, at least for me, but I try to keep it short. But I'm not promising it. Let's dive into like the first sound machine I'm planning is based around Granular synthesis, but I want to, because I have the beats in my rack here, and I used several instances of clouds. Like, I never had the original clouds, but I have a clone, and I have the original firmware loaded on my Daisy patch from Electrosmith, and yeah, I basically only use them in the hardware realm as effect units. I did weird stuff with it, of course, but they were never like the central part of sound creation. And in this sound machine, the first sound machine I want to build, they should be the integral part of the sound machine and sound creation. And I will use the Clouds clone for it, Supercell, Portland Weather, and Chronoplop. Chronoplop is basically there because it has a cool loop function I really like, and I not really want to use it as a delay, but as more of kind of rhythmic looping. And yeah, like, that's the first concept, and I don't know where it takes me, but like at the basic creation of sound, because all of these modules don't create sound on their own, I want to build, I want to have a switch between that. I can choose between more classical synthesizing inputs, like sequencing, oscillators, filters and stuff, but you can switch to a sampler. I guess I use Simpliciter, and yeah, this will be part of it, like that you have in Touch OSC switching possibilities, or maybe that you can use both at the same time. I guess there will be a little bit of generative, like the first part, the synthesis part will be generative, I guess. But let's see. It's not a video where I already built something and I show you how I did it. It's the whole point of this series is that you are following me on the journey to building a sound machine. See the mistakes I make. Of course, I tried a bit before, and I know where to go. But yeah, there will be mistakes. There will be wrong modules, and so on. I hope you like it, so let's dive into it. So, I'm right here on the computer, and let's start. There's already something here. I built it yesterday, and I pretty much liked it, and wanted maybe to leave it in as a sound source for my sound machine. Maybe in a different way at the end, but yeah, I wanted to show you. It's basically the Rodania oscillator by Axioma and the CSL by Instru, and they are all modulated in different ways from Tesseract here, and the Tesseract is modulating itself through attenuators, and the basic, like we have this steady sounds from Instru with a little bit of envelope modulation of the wave folding and pulse width modulation, and Rodania is driven by two Euclidean sequencers, yes, VCAs, and they are sounding like this. And yeah, only for the fun. I don't know if I include the drums in the final sound machine, but yesterday I wanted to add some drums. They go through a wave shaper and DJ style filter. And they are also driven by Euclidean sequencer, because Rebeltech has all their old modules inside VCV now. And I'm happy to try them out, because I wanted them to buy in hardware a few years ago, but I never did. Now I can try them and maybe give them a shot in hardware as well. So let's start this. Yeah, maybe I will explain that more in detail later on, but let's start with the integration of Touch OSC, because it's really flawless. Yeah, of course you need to install VCV Rack and Touch OSC, and in VCV Rack you need the stoermelder modules. And I guess at the time point of this video, I'm making this video, they are not in the VCV library. You need to go to GitHub and install them manually, and I leave a description in the info box down below how you do that. And you need the MIDI-CAT module to map Touch OSC to VCV Rack, and it's really flawless. Yeah, you need to install Touch OSC Bridge. Oops. And you need to start it, and there will nothing happen. It only will start in the background. And then you need, of course, to start Touch OSC on your computer. If you want to follow me, oh, there's a new version. We do that later. If you want to follow me in the tutorial, you need to have it on your computer. I guess in Mac it's the same and it's flawless as well, but I never owned a Mac, so I can't tell anything about it. let's make this here at the top. You have your size of the window, and I always do it like, I don't know, I use an iPad and it has weird dimensions, and I never remember what it is, but I use the normal full HD because I guess it works for a lot of tablets, because you can have Android as well. Yeah, and then you go here on this little Wi-Fi icon and you enable the server so that the Touch OSC on the computer is your main server, because the we're doing all the building on the computer of the interface, and use the tablet or iPad only for controlling the sound machine. So you go to your iPad and you start up Touch OSC. Oh, that was the old version. Sorry for that. Where is it? Touch OSC. So you start up Touch OSC. And yeah, so. And you go on your tablet, iPad, whatever. You go on that little chain icon left to the Wi-Fi icon, and there, I mean, it's already activated on my device. You need to go first to Bridge. Go click on Browse, and you need to find your desktop and activate the connection. And then whatever you want. I only use MIDI right now. But yeah, you need to activate the connection for OSC if you want to use OSC, and you need to activate the connection for MIDI. And again, on Browse you can find the bridge you activated early on the computer. So if you have done this, you go on the Wi-Fi icon on the iPad, search your computer, and connect. And now you connect. And let's have a look how fast this works. I go to the computer, right click, and put a fader in 1, 2, 3, and it's instantly there on the iPad. That's totally crazy, and it works. So first part of my hiccups with Touch OSC is I know where I could find a setting where because everything I put in here, it doesn't matter what it is, red at the beginning, and I want to have it white. Because there is preference here, but there is really not much stuff you can do here. And yeah, maybe you need to go into a text file or ini file on Windows and you can choose the preference. I have no idea. Maybe some of you know, and please let me know. And please let me know if there's a dedicated forum for Touch OSC, because I couldn't find one. I only found random questions around Reddit and Gearspace and Modwiggler and stuff, but I couldn't find a dedicated forum for Touch OSC or Häcksler. Maybe I'm doing something wrong in my Google search, and please let me know if there is. So now that we created a fader, we can make it bigger and stuff, and the changes are instantly on the iPad, as you can see. And yeah, you have all these controls here. What's important is like this section, if it's visible or not. Interactive, of course we want to interactive. Background is like, what is the word called? Appearance. For appearance. And yeah, orientation. For slider it's important. Like north means you can pull it up for maximum value. Like east is you pull it to the right for maximum value, and so on. Most of the time I have it on north. Yeah, it depends what you want. And yeah, what's really important is down here, MIDI message. As I said, it's not a whole tutorial for Touch OSC. I only explain you the stuff we need for this video. So of course you need to have it enabled, send and receive. Send means you can send information from like this, the fader, to to VCV Rack from the iPad, and receive means it's important that you have that enabled in most cases, because when you change the value, the parameter in VCV Rack, you want to have the same value on the fader on the iPad, so it needs to receive MIDI as well. So here you can choose the connection. That's like the bridges you activate. We only have one bridge right now. As you can remember, there was bridge 1 activated on the iPad, so leave it on here. And down here, channel and controller, that's like your basics, like the most important thing, because channel is the MIDI channel right now, MIDI channel 1, and controller is the CC value. And you can, I only use it in index and constant. I don't have any idea what this down here mean. Constant means that you manually choose the CC value, and index means that Touch OSC is counting the like all the knobs and faders, and only adding the CC. Like this is like CC 0 right now. If I make a next fader, it's CC 1, so you don't need to, and it doesn't matter if it's fader or not, CC 2, and it doesn't, you don't need to care about. But the weird thing about it is, if I put in a text right now, a text has no MIDI messages whatsoever, but like we were here, CC, yeah, CC1, CC2 was the last, then we put in the text, and that's really annoying me. If we now put in a fader, it's on CC4. Like index gives this text a CC number or a placeholder, and that's sometimes really annoying, because when I add up like faders in here or buttons, and I reach CC value 127, who's the last value, and I put in a next fader, index stays at 127 and not goes to the next MIDI channel and CC0. So if you have a lot of text in here, index can be annoying, because it counts the text and all the stuff like labels as CC values, but they don't send MIDI. Maybe there's a way to go around, I don't know. Most of the time it will not, but in the last like I plan to do a 8x8 matrix where you can choose modulation for supercell or something like that, and there it gets really cramped. Yeah, and you reach really fast the 127, and yeah, you will see later on. But yeah, you see how fast this is, how easy this is. And now let's go into Touch OSC, and I show you with an easy example. Let's take this oscillator and go in here. So now let's map this first fader, the big one, to coarse. So you can do it in both ways. You need to click here on the, I need to explain the MIDI CAN module. You go, like at least on Windows, you go on Windows MIDI, it's standard there. Choose a device, and this is Touch OSC Bridge. It doesn't always needs to be 5. It's different all the time, for at least in my case. So and you use down here you take another bridge, And then you can choose channels for, like, this is the input part, like the information goes from Touch OSC to VCV Rack, and you can choose all channels. Of course we don't want that, leads to problems. So I take channel 1, and the outgoing, like from Touch OSC to from VCV Rack to Touch OSC, you need to choose a channel. There is no option for all channels. So then you click on unmapped, and now you can map, and you can do it on both ways. You can first click on the value you want to change in VCV Rack, or you can first move the fader in Touch OSC. So I'm now moving the fader in Touch OSC. You see CC00 is mapping, and then I click on the coarse knob and it's mapped. And it instantly swaps to the next mapping. So if, like, the next fader, this little fader here, I click on, I do it the other way now, on the fader I want to map, and then on the fader in Touch OSC, and it works. So you see how flawless this is. It really amazes me. It's like I have 2 softwares running on the PC on Windows, Touch OSC and VCV Rack, and at the same time I have Touch OSC on my iPad in controller mode, and it works flawless. Like, okay, what do we do? I want to map fine tune. Oh, I need a controller for that. Let's go into Touch OSC, add a radial, like a knob, make it big. It's on index, so it has CC4. Then go into here, map, fine tune, move, and it's on. It's crazy. So for me, it's really important to have that part into building the sound machine, because the sound machine is not only VCV Rack and building crazy patches, but it's also the integration of the interface, because at least for me, a good synthesizer or whatsoever needs to have a good interface. And if you work at the interface at the same time, you can find problems and solutions you would not get when you do it afterwards, or you need to redo everything, because then on the interface you are seeing that something is not working like you did only in VCV Rack. So let's start with the sound machine, because I talked a lot. I guess this first episode is not much sound machine, but only explaining. Let's delete this, we don't need this, go to Touch OSC and delete everything here. So let's make it fast a bit. I take this now. So let's go to favorites, and of course they are not in here. Portland weather's in here, I already have it in. Okay, let's go to Granular. Where is it here? Make this favorite, So I add this one, I add delay, the chrono plug, make it favorite. You make it favorite like if you hold Control and click on it. And of course the supercell, the Portland weather. So this is the heart of our patch, and what I want, like I said, I did already do a little bit of experimentation. I want this first mixer where all the inputs are going into clouds. This goes into wrong cable. Yeah, I color coded the cables. Blue is gate, purple is CV, green is 1 volt per octave, and turquoise, or however it's called, is audio. Then it goes into this mixer. I choose the big Mixmaster Juniors from MindMeld right now because I want to have for building a sound machine a lot of inputs because a lot will change in the time, and I don't want to change every time the mixer when the inputs are full. So I said I take 3 big ones, and if there are like this that only 1 input is used, or 2, I will change them with other modules who are less process hungry. So we go in here with the clouds, and then after that we go into the supercell, from the supercell into the Portland weather, and from the no, that was wrong. No, that was right. Oh yeah. We need this down here. And from the Portland weather, into the chronoblob, and from the chronoblob into the final mixing device, and from there it goes into this where I record everything. So, and what I want, because I want to use those modules only for sound design as well as a chronoblob. I don't want to use chronoblob if I want a delay at the end. So of course I add super echo and chronoblob at the end for the aux channels. What I like is to go into the super echo like this, the super echo into chronoblob, and then into a separate channel that I can apply the reverb on the delays. Of course we need reverb as well, and to everyone favorite reverb module, plateau, and I like the G-verb from RCM because it's sometimes a little bit more realistic sounding. So, and they go of course both into separate aux channels. Like this, and on the 8 the delays are coming back and they going into the reverbs. Yes. So if I want that, I can apply that. So now let's build a little interface that's easier to interact with all of this. And I want blend knobs, mix knobs for all of them, and I want the final sense on knobs that I can decide on the fly if I want to have this delay or not. And what's always cool to have for when it gets too loud or something, I want to map this fader where everything goes into the final mixer. I want to have this mapped as well. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rotaries and 1 slider. Let's do this. Radial. Okay, everything is mapped. Let's take the dry out, fully wet, mix here. Room size bigger, damping, bandwidth, time. So, and what I forgot, I want to only to get, I want a button. And I want to call it start, stop. This, I guess I want it in red. So, and I want to map that only for the purpose of start and stop the music. I want to map this. Oh, and we need to have it, yeah, on buttons you have like the type options like toggle, release and momentary, and I guess, let me see, we need let's try this on toggle press. So let's map this to the button. No, it needs triggers, so it needs to be on momentary. Yeah. Okay, let's test it really quick before the camera went out. Starting on the iPad, bringing in the clouds. That works. Supercell, Portland weather, chronoblock. All works. Bring that out. Delay works. Reverb works. Reverb 2 works as well. Everything works. So let me think what we will do next. So what I want to do next, sorry for the little break, camera went off, and as you can see, it's a new day. I want to push this here. It doesn't work. I want to push that a little bit to the side. It's a good input, but first I want to do want to put that aside and concentrate first on samples as an input, because Granular is perfect for samples. So let's load a sample in here. Like a random file from a new album. Like this, doesn't matter what. So, and what I want to have, because I want a decision in the sound machine at the beginning, or basically at the end, I guess it will be a mixer that you can choose or mix the inputs between sample-based inputs of your own samples and like more classical synthesis input. But yeah, we leave that because that's a little bit too messy for me right now, but we come to that later. As you see down here, it's a first test where I wanted to create some kind of feedback sequencer where sequencing length changes if you change the pitch and so on, but it's a prototype, and yeah. So, but first let's concentrate on the samples, because what I want is of course you can do if you prefer that your own samples, slices, sorry. You can make your own slices. I want the basic idea that you load long samples into it. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but that you load long samples into it and slice it and use them for sound creation. So, and what I want is some random LFOs. Where are they? There. Or random CV. To basically have at the beginning of your session with the sound machine, you load your sample in, and then I want a little workflow that you can create random slices, and you can do it like this. You go here, and where is it? Save the slice. Do your next one, or use these faders here. Do your next slice, and so on. You can do that, of course, if you have a special file where there's is cool. But what I want is, yeah, basically to like take this stepped input and this step input. Now you can see the slice maker is moving on its own, and then basically with the clock you can create your own. I'm sorry, I need to connect this. Let's make some random values. Yeah, what's a little bit annoying on that is, and I didn't find a workflow around it, sometimes it happens that you have like this here, like slices who are like the two randoms at the exact same point. Then you have slices who are really clicky and glitchy. I didn't find a workflow around that, but I will that in the future. But basically what we now do is to take random gate, clocked random gate, take a clock, whatever, and take gates. But first what we want to do is a switch to have where we have it here, this switch, and then we go to Touch OSC and copy that knob and leave it red. Let's make this green because it's more start stop. Copy this and this and call it random slice record. So, and I guess it's on index still, and yeah, already is assigned. So, and let's map this one. This works. Yeah, I need to find a workflow. Maybe this is possible with OSC messages and not MIDI messages, but my problem is, like this in VCV Rack are all triggers. I mean, you see on the iPad that there's feedback, but you have no indication on the iPad on which state the switch is. And I will get into that, or maybe some of you guys know a way around. Yeah, but I guess there's no way. But it would be cool to have like an option that you can leave this on momentary, but it shines up when you click, and when you click the second time it de-shines. it turns off. But I guess there's no way for this. Only like toggle press, yes, but let's have a look. It doesn't work. Now it's toggled in on the iPad, but if I click again, it does nothing because it needs a trigger again, and then yeah, it doesn't work. So momentary, I found some. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, if we go on the second one, take a random gate here or random trigger, doesn't matter, and no, on this one, put it out and save. So now at the beginning of your sound machine you can click the random slice record button and it saves some slices. You can make it faster. So let's let it work for a bit, and now you see it makes slices at this point, and they are not as beautiful, I guess, but it doesn't matter for the purpose. I will refine it. I stopped that. It's now on the second switch position with no input, so it does nothing. Yeah, we did 35 slices. Sorry for the break. It's 2 days ago now, I guess. No, it was yesterday. Yes, sorry, my daughter came in and we had the fun afternoon at the playground. And so today, yeah, what I wanted to show you, what the problem is, we had this in here. Oh, I had this in here and this in here. So, what I wanted to show you, we made the slices with the slice maker, of course. And so we need these cables at the inputs. So the third random is here to randomize the slice assembly, the selection, because the selection dial here can choose which slice is playing. So the problem we have here, if I connect, like if I turn the dial, nothing happens. I mean, the slice is selected here, but at the top at our window nothing is happening, and if we play it back also nothing is happening. So, and of course if I put the CV in and do it to a maximum, I need to run, of course. Yeah, but nothing is happening. The selection dial is turning, but there is nothing playing back, and that's like one problem I have. I try to solve it for the next episode. But yeah, the problem is, even if I have no input here, as you can see, it's on the second input on both, so no random voltage is coming here. But like this inputs of the slice maker overruling the selection of the slices, and yeah, that's not so cool. So you need to manually deselect the inputs, and now it works. The selection dial is doing its job, and yeah. And that's not what I want, because I want that you push the button on the iPad like the random slice record once, record it, and then stop it, and make a second switch right here. Oh, it's not mapped, I guess. This one, it's that. Okay. Yeah, not that. And I want, of course, a third button. I can go here and here, and go to our Touch OSC, and again copy this knob, paste it, copy this, paste it, make this one green as well, and name it random slice select start stop. like I said, I make this prettier for the final build of the sound machine, but right now it's doing its job. So let's go back to VCV Rack, map this to this. So, but yeah, the problem is I always need to deselect these cables. And yeah, of course there are certain parameters in VCV Rack. You need to go into VCV to change it, like all the right menu stuff, loading samples into Simpliciter and stuff. But I want to have basically I want to have the most amount of parameters and stuff you can change on Touch OSC on the iPad. So it's a little bit annoying that you need to remove the cables. But I think I will find a solution for the next episode. I hope so. I know there are modules who are wirelessly, like without wires, at least bring CV to one input to another, or output to an input. Maybe this works with audio as well, but I never worked with them. I saw them at Omri's channel, I guess, that they're existing, but I need to spend time with it. Maybe this will solve the problem, but right now it's okay. We deselected it and start, like on the iPad, the random slice select start stop, and so we are playing. And of course I need the stop button as well. So, but now to the sound machine. We have now our small random slice generator, our random selection, and that's good for now. It needs, of course, more preparation and more refined work to make this at the end more beautiful, but for the first episode this is now okay. What I want to do next is, because to play with the module, it would be cool to map certain parameters to the interface so that we can make a picture of what the sound machine is doing for the developing of the sound machine. So what I want to do is basically first I want a patch matrix, and I want this here, and you basically what you need to remember is it's disabled by now. You can invert, like if you second click, you do this, you can, it's basically really cool. You can do it on your sound machine, but then you have, like, on the second click, the modulation or the signal goes in here, gets inverted by 180 degrees, I guess. No, inverted, like negative inverted, not degrees. But yeah, I don't want that for now. Maybe we take this later. And what we want to do with it, I want to grab a couple of where are they? Did I not put them in here? No, of course. A couple of, because I really like them, wavetable LFOs. 3 of those, I guess, or maybe, yeah, for the beginning let's take 3, and then 3 envelopes, and yeah, the rest we will see. We have 2 inputs open, I guess. One will be a sequencer, and second, I don't know, maybe some random. Random would be pretty cool. So let's connect all of them. So, and this, like, the first matrix is for the texture synthesizer. So what do we need here? We want to control the freeze, position, size, density, texture, and volt per octave, and blend. So that's 6. Let's make this first position, density, size, texture. Then let's put this down here. Volt per octave. Then I guess freeze and blend. So now we're active, and we can, like, if you do this, like you see, texture gets modulated. So let's start the machine. Where is it? Everything running, yes. And bring the clouds in. Fully wet. Show you the pitch. Do the routing. I'm sorry for that. Now we have, let's do it with pitch. What was pitch? Pitch was it? So as you can hear, yeah, we can freely write. I mean, every one of you will know a matrix mixer, I guess. So, and of course, and I think this will be the last part we do today. We want to do that in Touch OSC. So, and for that, I want a second page. So, how did this work? Like this. So, everything is gone now. So, everything I have here. Extract this. I want to have. Hey, what's with my mouse? I want to have on the first page, like you see on the iPad now. Yeah, it's I do this again. When you go, like, this is the documentary, and it's really important if you use a pager. If you want to use several pages, you go the canvas and add a pager here, like I did, and then this thing appears. And if you have anything there, like you saw before, it's above anything. You can change that, of course, in range, but yeah, but the thing is, everything was like the elements were in the first tree, but then you need to put it in the first pager. Like you have here 3 pages, and so if you copy it in here, it's only there. So for example, what I want on every page is for controlling, and you see that later, is the Vari-Speed control. So I show you. If I go, I'm now outside of the tree, and I'm adding a radial, and I bring that to front. So, and when we now look on the iPad, I'm on the first page, it's here, and I'm on the second, it's still here, because I put it in the tree right next to the pager. It's not in a page. So let's bring a label and name this Vari-Speed and make this bigger. It's giant now, but yeah. So then we map this. And what we need here, because like in the middle there is like no playback at all. So I would love, because right now our radial goes from the left to the right. But what I want now that it is centered, so we go to the knob, and where was this? Oh damn it! Centered. So now it's a centered control, and you see now I'm playing forward, now I'm playing backward. So back to the matrix. Let's go to the second page, because I want my matrix on the second page. So we need buttons, a lot of them. So, and for this I go on another MIDI channel, because we will use a lot of CC values. Let's take this, copy it. And now comes the really annoying part. So I need a second one of this, and it's on channel 2, because we decided to have channel 2. So let's go in here. Oh, and I forgot to make them. Damn it. Oh, I'm so stupid. Sorry for that. But yes, of course. Cool. Toggle release. I can edit them all. Okay. And clap for the syncing. 1, 2, 3. Clap. We missed that in the video before, and I hope I can sync it. So let's wrap this up. We need to be fast. So as you can see on the iPad, I completed the matrix. I can go in here now and can from the iPad make patch points. And as you can see, I remapped. I built the interface of the clouds also on the iPad. So to wrap this episode up, it's long enough. I don't know how long exactly, but I guess 1.5 hours, and that's really long. Let's do a little jamming and leave it here. And in the next episode, we have still a freaking lot to do. We need to implement this all very well. And yeah, because we only used clouds for now. There's Supercell, Polar Weather, and Chronoblob. We only have like one sound source, the wave, the sampler here. I want to bring in this as well, like subtractive synthesis voice or additive synthesis voice or whatever, like more traditional. And yeah, I guess I want this to be plain. Page 1, start, yes. Maybe I bring this in for the jamming. There's no mapping right now, but my camera is almost dying, so I need to hurry. So let's try a bit of jamming. I'm rearranging the camera. let's make for now a random grid. I see that slice a sampler, there is something weird happening, but doesn't matter. Right now I did a grid. Lost the connection. What the fuck? No, my Wi-Fi. Yeah, doesn't matter. That was nice. Yeah, hello. So, yeah, this was the first episode. A little bit catastrophic, I guess, but doesn't matter. Beautiful sounding right now. I can't really stop it. Of course, I can stop it. Stop. Yes. Yeah. As you can see, there's a lot to do, but I hope you could see at the end my example that you can do already, like only with one cloud, but it's like basic cloud stuff I did. You can do a lot of stuff, but especially the interplay between Vari-Speed and cloud pitch was really interesting. And yeah, I got some new ideas. I tried to solve the problem with the random slice making at the beginning, and I hope I can find a solution for that. And yeah, we will see us in the next episode, and goodbye.